Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. So last week I had told you guys that I was going to do a video just kind of talking, like let's talk about things, let's talk about it. But my Monday was super hectic. I literally worked from like 8 a.m. until 11. 11 was the first time that I kind of sat down and was like, whew. So it's Tuesday. I hope you guys can forgive me. I'm a day off on my videos, but I did want to talk about something. There is something I have on my mind. I posted a thing earlier. If you catch the post prior to this, I had posted a post about if we're dating, I want to be your second priority because I want you to be your first priority. So I talk about this subject a little bit because I've talked about how in the past I had to kind of learn what love is, because as children, we're not taught the healthy ways of what a healthy relationship looks like or what a relationship should look like, right? We're taught from our parents. So if we come from a toxic childhood, if we come from our ways of learning love are through toxic people, who whatever that looked like, then that's how we're taught is an acceptable way of love. And I'll give you guys a really quick example. When I was really young, growing up, my dad used to beat on my mom, and I mean, I wrote about it in my book. I will have the book out one day. But my dad used to be physically abusive with my mom until she filed for divorce one day, and then when he, came to the conclusion that she was really serious, she wasn't going to put up with this, he stopped hitting her. So, but for a long while, I would say like the first 6 years of my life, I grew up with my dad, seeing my dad hit my mom, her crying, and then they would make up. And I think they did the breakup to make up. It was almost like the fighting and the physical abuse was a great excuse to kind of make up. And the makeup was always super sweet. My dad was sweet about making up. And I think my mom found the abuse acceptable because the makeup was good. If that makes any sense, I don't know. So my very first relationship I got into was a physically abusive relationship, and I stayed in it for 3 years because there's several reasons why we stay in abusive relationships, but to me, I found that acceptable simply because that's how I grew up. I grew up seeing that, and when I really started to unravel a lot of my life and start to do healing on a lot of things, I forgave my ex because his dad used to beat his mom, and he thought that was the way to show love. I accepted it because I saw it growing up, and that's how I felt at the time was an acceptable way of showing love. So we were both coming from a space of he thought it was acceptable, I thought it was acceptable, and I just had to kind of unravel the thing and put forgiveness where it needed to go so that I can move on from the situation. And I had to learn a different way to love. If you haven't already read The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, it's something that I highly suggest. My oldest son, I just bought him the book, and my other son has the book now, and he's reading it because he's in a relationship. So as I go through life, I've learned I was in a relationship that was very codependent. It was like he absorbed who I was, and he relied on me for everything: income, eating, food, clothing. Everything was about me, taking care of me, washing my clothes, cooking my food. He had no entity other than me. And in the end, it didn't work out. And that's not, I know a lot of you have questions about my previous relationship, which I'm not going to get into, but this was a relationship I was in my 20s. And as you guys saw in the post, he passed away not too long ago, but I had to learn that love is not someone who absorbs you. Love is not codependency. I see a lot of relationships around me that are very codependent. It's like, you have to be me. You have to like what I like. You have to obey me. Like we have to be together all the time. And anytime someone gets their own independence, so they want to go out with their friends, there's trust issues, there's this and there's that. And so I wanted to bring light to the book simply because it's a way that I have found as an adult that I wish I would have found in my 20s. First of all, big lesson is you have to be okay with being alone. There's so many people out there who go from one relationship and they won't get out of this relationship that they're unhappy with until they find someone else to get into the next relationship. There's no space. They're almost afraid to be alone. They're afraid to experience what life is like on their own, because when they are alone, they're consumed with certain thoughts. Sometimes you're put in a space of being alone so that you can heal, so that you can learn to love being alone. And I'll tell you guys right now, as I go into this journey of healing, I'm finding myself in solitude from friends, solitude from a lot of things, but I'm also finding that I love my solitude. and I love being alone, and I love my little rituals, and I love my life so much that now I'm very particular about who I would let into my life to share that with. They'd have to be on the same thought pattern, the same frequency, because I never want to change anybody. I never want somebody to think the way I do or to do the things that I do. I still want them to remain as them, but there has to be some level of understanding of who I am without ever trying to change me. So there's certain things, as learning to be alone, learning to know what that's like to fall in love with myself again. I know what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. I know I have boundaries, and I'm very, very, very particular about who I would let into my space because it's so sacred. And you guys, and when I say space, I'm talking about my sexual space. I'm talking about my personal space. I'm talking about my energetic space. I'm talking about everything. Like those things are so sacred to me that you have to be very, very, very special in order to come into those spaces. So I want you guys to remember Valentine's Day is coming up, and if you're single, don't get forced into the thought process that you have to be with somebody, and don't feel away because you're by yourself. When you're by yourself, you get a chance to learn who you are, what you like. There's so many people out there, you guys, who you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you like, and you don't know what your hobbies are. And I want you to find that for yourself and then share it with somebody. Be able to share it. Don't let somebody change you. Here's the things that love is not. Love is not what I can buy you. Love is not what am I doing for you. Love is not the time that I'm spending with you. Love is a feeling that I'm giving you, and my love is endless, and I can give it to everybody. I don't love one more than I love the other. I just love. All I know is how to love, and it's endless. And guess what? You don't have to love me back. I can love you. My love is not something that I hold hostage because you're not doing what I want, or you don't love me back, so now I'm not going to love you. I just give love. It's free, and there's so much I'm filled with so much of it that I just give it out. I give it to everything. I give it to plants. I give it to earth. I give it to nature. I give it to people. I give it to people who don't even like me because I can. You don't have to love me in order for me to love you. It's a free thing. Love doesn't hurt. Love won't make you cry. Love won't change you. Love is understanding. Love makes you feel good. And the person that you share your space with should make you feel good. And they should never try to change you. And they shouldn't hold their love hostage. And there's things that should be in place, you guys, like trust. If you're with somebody and they're still looking for somebody else, and there's something in that relationship that they're not getting, but maybe they don't want to let go of it because they don't want to hurt you. This conversation can get so intricate, and there's so many multi-level dimensions to this conversation. But the biggest thing that I want you to get out of this is being alone is okay. You don't always need somebody. Don't be codependent on someone. Know who you are without someone else. And when you do meet someone special, don't try to change them. Don't try to hurt them. Don't try to hold your love hostage from them. In a relationship, I want to hold space for you, whatever that is, but I still want you to be focused on you. I don't want all your focus on me. I want you to be able to let me do my thing and you do your thing, and we cheer for each other. So whatever you bring to the table, I want to bring the same to the table. I want to add so that our vibration is higher and higher and higher. But we don't need to have the same likes. We don't need to do the same things. And before I end this, you guys, I do want to say that stay out of my DMs because I'm not even looking to date. I'm not looking to date. I'm giving advice on relationships because I've learned so much over the years, you guys, and I want to be able to share it. I didn't get this knowledge until I decided to really heal from the things that I've been through. When you start to do your own healing and you start to really tear apart some of the relationships that you've been in the past or the relationship that you're in now, you may find some things out about yourself that will help you in the future. So with that, you guys, I hope that you guys have an amazing week. And I want to remind you guys, Apothecary by Mariza has, I have my love candles. So if you're looking for love or you're looking to bring love into your space, love for yourself, whatever that looks like, I do have these love candles. They come in a set of 2 and they're really, really beautiful. I hand make all these myself, you guys. And I just listed my clay masks and I have the forest mask available. So make sure that you check out Apothecary by Mariza for all of your needs. And I hope you guys have a great week.